Hello and welcome. Thank you all for joining us today for the community action here with the Million Mom Movement. My name is Naeva Flory, and I am joined here by my fellow council member, Dominique Jeffries. And we are so honored to be here today to share more about glyphosate's role in autism, because there is a huge correlation, and we just want to share more information and empower you on how we can really support our detox pathways and live a more healthy, vibrant life and support those around us to do the same. And so before we get started, I'd love to go ahead and see who would like to read the pledge today. If you'd like to just raise your virtual hand, we'll have you come on and read the pledge for us. We'll go ahead and bring it up on our screen. So if anybody wants to volunteer, we'd love to have you come on and share the pledge with us today. Any volunteers? Don't be shy. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I'll go ahead and bring up the pledge. Nobody volunteers. Dominique, do you want to read it
Yeah, I
with
can read
us?
it. Oh, Unique raised her hand.
Oh, there you go. Will you unmute her for us?
Yes.
Okay. Can you hear me and see me now?
We can. Thank you so much for reading the pledge with us today.
Beautiful, definitely. Okay. I pledge to defend the health of myself and my family. I pledge to choose organic foods that are minimally processed and free of man-made ingredients. I pledge to read labels and educate myself on all aspects of clean living. I understand that my actions today will positively impact the health and environment of future generations. I am committed to sharing this movement of many. I am the Million Mom Movement.
Thank you so much, Unique. And if you don't mind sharing a little bit with us about what inspires you with this movement.
Sure, definitely. So, actually, it's very, very real and raw today. My nan, she has aggressive large B cell lymphoma, and clearly glyphosate is a massive cause of that. And today was an infusion day, so it's just has been a very emotional day for me. It comes in waves and all these things, and she has been when she's able. She has been beginning her Purium supplements, and I'm so proud of her. Her hemoglobin has been raising, increasing more than it did when they gave her hemoglobin injections. And I say that because I'm like, well, what are they injecting you with then? Um, on top of myself being vegan and living a gluten-free lifestyle for about 7 years now, and I'm seeing both sides of the coin. I'm seeing what happens when we don't pay attention to our health, when we just follow along in what the resistance says, whatever you want to categorize that in. And then I'm seeing all of this beautiful, massive prevention that we can do for my kids. I'm already a Gigi. I'm a mother of four. My nan is a great, great nan. There's like four generations in this household at all times. When my mom's over, it's five. And it's literally life changing. And my goal is for this to be her last infusion day. And for her, she begins her ULT on Monday. So I'm like so over the moon excited. And I'm just so grateful for having my frequencies high enough to be able to be in the Purium family. And then additionally with the Million Mom movement. So that's just a bit. And it makes my heart full as well.
Wonderful. Thank you so much for being here today and for sharing just a little bit of your story. We look forward to hearing more, hopefully in the future, about how that ULT really supports her. And thank you so much for being here.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Wonderful. So this is going to be a really impactful presentation, and I know that my dear friend has so much information to share around this topic and how we can really support our detox pathways and support our bodies with the ultimate health, and that can really help us to have a better quality of life. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce my dear friend and sister, Anna Marie Sandoval. She's a beautiful mom of two vibrant daughters, and she's the proud wife of Dave Sandoval. She's also the president of the Awaken Foundation Project, And Anna Marie comes from a background working as a behavioral specialist for kids on the autism spectrum for over a decade now. So she loves teaching and learning from children. It's one of her greatest passions. And she's devoted to this mission of healing for families and raising knowledge in the neurodivergent community. And she's advocating and supporting beings to reach their highest potentials through this holistic health and healthy lifestyle. So thank you so much, Anna Marie, for being here with us today, and welcome to the call.
Oh, thank you, sister. Thank you so much for that introduction. And thank you for always leading us with such fierce strength in the Million Mom movement and holding it down, leading us with these calls and being there for us and for our community in that way. I'm totally ever grateful for how you hold it down that way. And thank you everybody to being on the call today. Like Naiva said, this is a really, really dear to my heart call, and we believe very impactful. And so thank you so much for coming on. And thank you also. I have a couple forewarnings for I am so honored to get to be able to lead and host this call. And I'm also very blessed to be a mama of two and a nursing mama. So if I have a little one needing to run in, please hold me with grace if she needs her mommy for a minute. And also, I just want to say and make it super clear that I am not a scientist or a doctor or anything of that kind. And so I am making no proclamations. And I want to also just really make it super, super clear that we do not believe that glyphosate correlation does not equal causation. We are not pinning any certain cause here. We are just here for a wonderful discussion about glyphosate and the effects that it can cause on the autistic body. And I mean all bodies, but specifically the neurodivergent body and mind at this time. So thank you so much for joining us, because it's, I think, a very riveting call. And I also want to point out that today we chose not to have a guest because one of the many things that I really love about these calls is I really appreciate getting to open it up to be a discussion call. So I really encourage anybody that has an important expression to bring to us today, or a story or a question or anything along those lines. We are super here to give voice to our community surrounding this topic. So please feel free and motivated even to speak whatever comes up for you that you'd like us to hear. And with that, I will just go ahead and get started. So thank you again. And so I say that this is a subject dear to my heart because learning about glyphosate and about the superhero solution that I think is just not just life-changing, but world-changing, about Biomedic really changed my life and paved a lot of the path of my life as well. So this topic means a lot to me personally. I want to start off with that, as you heard a little bit in my bio, that I've been working with people on the spectrum for over a decade now. And when I learned about how the gut is affected and how many people and how many parents and so many people are very, very dedicated to healing their children's or the person in their lives that they're trying to help heal the gut. And so much of what takes place with autism has to do with the gut. And learning that was very powerful to me, to learn about all the different things that we could do to heal the gut. But when I found out about Purium and Biomedic very specifically, I was out of my skin, just so elated to realize that there was a solution and a really impactful tool to heal the gut, and what possibilities that could create for the people who were suffering from their gut being impaired. And I was over the moon. And it is what led me to begin working with my beloved husband, Dave, on the Awaken Project. And when he and Tirza, Dawn, and I came together, we began to really get to deep dive, came together for the Awaken Project, began to really deep dive more into what was happening with the gut and glyphosate and how we could help people get to healing. And so what we learned, one of the biggest things that we learned, I want to say that there's a lot of different facets of where glyphosate can affect a body who is neurodivergent. And the big area that we studied a lot was in utero. So we realized that what was taking place in the mother's body as she was building a baby's gut and brain was really dependent on her gut also. And the way that things are built when a baby is being grown in the mother's body, we learned that the first parts of a baby as it is being grown in the body is the gut, and the brain actually are the first cells that begin building a fetus. And so if a mother's gut is highly impacted with glyphosate, then naturally it's going to cause the baby's body to be building a gut that is impaired with glyphosate and isn't getting to be built with its highest potential without being affected by the catastrophes of glyphosate ultimately. And so if we are able to remove the glyphosate and get that out of the body, then we can do so many wonders for mamas growing their babies and for people who already are being affected by glyphosate. The biomedic itself is not just removing, but it's rebuilding and repairing the gut. When we are able to just even eliminate glyphosate on top of that, then it can do even more. So the reason why, just a little bit background, I should rewind a little bit. I live in a little bit of a bubble and just assume everybody knows everything about glyphosate. And then I step out and I'm, oh goodness, nobody knows. And we need to scream from the rooftops for everybody to understand. Not scream though. I'm not screaming anymore. I'm just advocating very intensely for everybody to be able to receive this knowledge that glyphosate as a pesticide is created to disrupt and kill the bacteria of plants. And what's going on is when we ingest it in our bodies, it's literally desecrating our gut lining and our gut microbiome. Everything from there on is built for our kids, our bodies is built from our gut. All of our hormones, all of our systems all rely upon a really healthy gut. So glyphosate does not cause autism. It will, though, highly affect a body who's already struggling to heal their gut or to have a healthier gut, to repair their gut, is going to keep putting that body backwards because glyphosate itself is destroying the gut. So when a body is trying to repair itself, is already having trouble receiving minerals and getting the sufficient needs for the body to thrive, glyphosate is pushing that body further and further away from getting to intake all that it needs. It's also breaking apart and breaking cells that are critical to brain pathways, to speech pathways, to digestive pathways, to detox pathways. So it's not just about the glyphosate itself, it's also about all the different parts of our body that are deconstructing because of the glyphosate and what it was created to do. So if it's also taking apart our detox pathways at the same time as destroying the gut, a body with autism is already really suffering from a lack of being able to detox in a sufficient way for the body to be able to do all of its different really important jobs. And so we see a lot of people suffering from not being able to detox the same way people who don't have autism are. And this blockage of detox disrupts so many different systems. And really, autism has so many superpowers. It is a superpower, but when it is combated with a struggle of a flooding of toxins, we see so many challenges and a lot of symptoms that are blocking the superpowers of our beings who have autistic minds. And so the glyphosate is not a cause, but in combination with so many different things, it's really creating one of the biggest hurdles. And then unfortunately, it can be another hurdle to not be infiltrated with glyphosate. It's everywhere. As much as we want to control everything that we can, even if we are able to eat all organic food, which can be tough in itself, especially for large families with crazy schedules and kids in school and in sports and families working and going on trips and traveling and getting to do the blessings of life can be really tricky in this day and age, not having to be taken with glyphosate because it's in water, it's in grass, it's in the air, it's in all of our food that isn't organic. It's ludicrous. And so another big point that I want to make on this call, I think my little one might be needing me, so hopefully I can get this out first, is not just that glyphosate and what it can do to a body who is neurodivergent, but that we have a solution, that we have a way to remove glyphosate. And that solution is biomedic. And I believe that it is one of the biggest gifts to anybody on the spectrum or who is neurodivergent, and to everybody in the world. I would say that it's the world's best kept secret, but I don't want it to be a secret. We don't want it to be a secret in any way, but I'm just mind blown that the whole world is not getting to be blessed with biomedic and removing glyphosate from their body and changing their life path ultimately, because there's no way that any of us can live in a bubble these days and live without glyphosate around us. But we should not have to live with the symptoms of what glyphosate does to our bodies. None of us signed up for that. And we have the freedom to make a choice of what else we put in our bodies that can remove the glyphosate. So a lot of what I want this call to highlight is about biomedic and how we have a solution to glyphosate. Glyphosate, like I said, it destroys the gut, and biomedic not only removes glyphosate from the body, but it repairs the gut. And in repairing the gut is where we start. That's the seat of aiding in pretty much most of all of the other health struggles and challenges and sufferings that we're going through. So biomedic is just the ultimate healer of earth tools to really take care of what the humans have created, which is glyphosate. And so I would like to open it up if anybody has any questions, any thoughts or comments at this point, or I can continue to go on a little bit more. I'd like to talk about more about glyphosate and detoxing and biomedic. But if anybody has any questions or comments or along those lines, I'd love to open up the space for that too.
I'd love to just go ahead and share this graph, Anna Marie, of how glyphosate correlates over the years and how, it's affected so many people since, 50 years ago until now, the difference that we've seen across the board. And so let me just pull up this page real quick from Dave's book, The Toxin That Came to Dinner. So for those of you who have not read that book yet, we would love to give you a free copy. You can reach out to the person that invited you here and they can send you a virtual copy or an audio book. But this is within the book on page 20. And down here, you can see that there's a correlation between children with autism and glyphosate applications on our food. And glyphosate has specifically been applied to corn and soy, as well as many other ingredients that are found as the main ingredient in so many of our foods, especially the foods that are geared towards our children, like the cereals and the crackers and the granola bars and all the fun cookies and treats. So many of them have different ingredients that come from corn and soy. Think of high fructose corn syrup and cornstarch and all the different things that you can make out of corn and all the different types of proteins that are based off of soy as well, and how they're used as an ingredient in so much of our food. And so you won't see glyphosate as an ingredient on our food, but you will see, corn as an ingredient or derivatives of corn like high fructose corn syrup and other ingredients. And so you can see here back in 1990, there was barely any autism. And as the years went by and as we started to put more glyphosate sprayed on our foods and on our crops, you can see the staggering graph right here of how much more autism there is now compared to back in the 90s. And so I think this is a very great graph. There's many other graphs within this book that point to other severe illnesses and different things that we might be dealing with that are caused primarily in the gut. Like what Anna Marie said, so much of it starts with our gut health, because we can have a better mood, we can sleep better, we can function better if we have brain health, and that all starts within our gut. And so detoxing some of these heavy metals and toxins and environmental toxins out can really support everyone. But especially, I've seen incredible results with some of the people I've worked with that have children on the spectrum and that have been able to implement some of these superfoods and really see staggering results of children that hadn't ever talked at 4 years old and started saying mama after the first couple days of introducing Epigenius Family, which has Biomedic within it, and other amazing testimonials from different people of just more verbal ability, more regulation of mood, and like better communication and better overall quality of life. Because if we can communicate and understand each other better, imagine how frustrating it would be somebody who is severely misunderstood all the time and that is just trying to get your message across and communicate in the best way that you know how. And you have challenges with your communication, and people have challenges with understanding the forms of communication that you're using, whether it's verbally or throwing a fit or having a meltdown, or the different ways that we might communicate that might not always be understandable. And especially for young people, they're still learning how to communicate. And so if we can give them these tools so that they can actually have the ability to even say mama, or to even, start to understand and communicate in a different way through just being able to support their gut health, that is a miracle. And so I'm always so grateful for the testimonials that come back around how these superfoods support our community. And so I just wanted to share a little bit about that. Thank you so much, Anna Marie, for the beautiful presentation, all the amazing knowledge that you share.
Oh, thank you. And thank you so much for your share. It is always so helpful to get to hear what your input and what you have to say. And it's so on point. And yeah, I want to continue on what you were saying about the power of being able to detox the pathways. And we've been able to witness together and, hear from so many different parents the striking ability of their children suddenly gaining their words that were already there, but were finally being able to be released because their pathways were getting cleared. And so a lot of what is happening is just that there is a toxic load up that their bodies aren't able to filter out. And so pathways aren't able, certain neurons aren't able to be fired and things are getting blocked there. And it's not only, it is the glyphosate mainly, which is causing so many different blockages and just with the gut disruption. It's also other different toxins. And we also really rely heavily on our chlorella to remove a lot of the metal toxic load up, because I think definitely that when the metal toxic load up is combined with the glyphosate toxic load up, it's a really catastrophic combination and in the blockages. That's why we're seeing words suddenly appear, because when those blockages disappear, everything is allowed to flow out. As I almost sometimes picture like this roaring river, right? And just a straight up dam being put there. And in my image in my brain, it's the toxic load up with heavy metals and exposures to things and glyphosate. And once those pathways get cleared with biomimetic superfoods, chlorella, spirulina, you start to see it go, and all this waterfall and flow of words and expression are suddenly accessed. And it is so transformational to get to witness the spiritual elevation in a child and a person and in a family when they're able to suddenly access their words, which were already here in their brain and their heart, but when they're actually able to get it out and feel received in a whole new way, it's something else. And sorry, and there's a fly there. And so to be able to support bodies to get to feel that and witness that themselves and in their families is a really, really powerful, I feel, just way to give back to our world that really needs the support. We all need to support each other. None of us can do this whole world alone. And I think it's important that we spread knowledge so that we can support each other. It's the best that we can do. And, it's for everybody that all of our bodies are being blocked in so many different ways when we're overloaded with glyphosate. But to have somebody, and like I said, I've witnessed so many families very devoted to cleansing and purifying and doing all of these different things and all of these different diets to work to detox and heal the gut, yet they don't know about glyphosate, and they're literally getting it from all these other different areas of their life and their food and in the grasses that they're playing in, and like grandma literally spraying the yard with Roundup, and they have no idea that what is could be not causing the autism, but causing toxic buildup in body that is going to be causing so many challenges, and that they're so close to it, and that it could be something one of something that could be controlled to help our highest potentials and reach our superpowers. So we recently released the autism, I believe, not, excuse me, the neurodivergent biohack pack, I believe is the official title. And included in that has both biomedic and chlorella. So both of those super tools are in that. And I also just want to reiterate how every body who is neurodivergent is unique, just like every body and every snowflake and every flower petal and all the greatest things in nature. We're all completely unique, and there is no one answer, one recipe, one tool, one anything for causation nor solution, in my belief. And so all of these different tools can be used in different ways, and it's for us to kind of take that knowledge and apply it to our unique selves versus generalize it and try to say, oh, this will do that and this will do this exact thing. So if there are any questions about how to begin detoxing glyphosate and how to begin detoxing metals from the body, as a neurodivergent person or for a neurodivergent person in your life, then definitely try to reach out to a person who is specialized in that, or you could reach out to one of us and we could try to support you in resources and ways to do that, because it's not so straight line always also. And so everything needs to be taken into very detailed account and brought to all of your healthcare providers before trying to do anything out of your ordinary, just simply on your own and by being, oh, I heard on this call or anything like that. I very much encourage everybody to take your given knowledge from today to any healthcare provider or a person that you see for health, to be guided upon any decisions you make when detoxing. And yes, so I'm going to bring this call to a soft close here. If anybody else has any shares or comments, or would like to give a story, please feel free to leave your words here with us or comments. Your voice is heard here. So I'm going to leave that space. And if nobody is feeling called to share, then I'm going to go ahead and close it up here.
Well, I'll share a little bit while we wait if anybody wants to raise your hands and share a story or some of your experiences. But I just want to share a little bit of why scientists think glyphosate could affect neurodevelopment. And a big part of it, and I know Anna Marie explained a lot of this, but sometimes there can be so many details. It can sometimes be a little bit confusing. And so the main things that we're looking at is the gut microbiome disruption, right? Glyphosate targets the shikimate pathway, which is what she was talking about. It causes issues in our gut because glyphosate is meant to kill living organisms on our food. And when we eat that food, it doesn't wash off or cook off. It's within our food, and it actually goes and starts to create issues within our gut and kill the microbiome and the living organisms that help us to digest properly and really function optimally. And so it can really alter the gut bacteria, and especially in pregnant mothers and infants, it can really change the immune signaling, nutrient production, and neurotransmitter prosecutors. So it's really important for brain development to have that healthy gut. it also causes oxidative stress and neuroinflammation. So studies report that increases in oxidative damage and inflammatory markers in brains of exposed animals, because they've tested this on animals, processes implicated in neurodevelopmental disorders. So if it does that in animals, what is it doing to us or our children, right? So it's causing that oxidative stress and that additional inflammation in our neural pathways. And then another factor is our mitochondrial dysfunction. Some reports show that impaired mitochondrial function after glyphosate exposure can cause problems and have been observed um, in autistic individuals. So it can really cause additional dysfunction, which is not what we're looking for, right? We're trying to turn that balance, balance it out and look for better health and to offset these things that are caused by these chemicals in our food and that we're exposed to, like Anna Marie said, right? It's sprayed around our playgrounds, around our schools, around our daycare centers, around our apartment complexes, our everywhere that we go. These chemicals are sprayed to kill the weeds. And so we never know when we're going to come across them, whether it's, breathing it through the air or walking through it on the lawn. It's just everywhere. And then it also affects our endocrine system. And so glyphosate formulations can alter your nutrient metal availability, like manganese, and your hormonal systems in a way that might influence neurodevelopment. So these are all things that we're looking at. And so it's really important to also look at what are the things that we can do to offset, right, the glyphosate that's in our body or our children's bodies. And there's so many things that we can do, just starting by reducing our exposure to these pesticides. So really, if you're currently using glyphosate, please stop. There's other sources, lots of natural sources. You can use hot water to kill your weeds. I think there's like vinegar and water and salt solutions that you can make that's super simple and does the trick and doesn't leave any residues behind. But some of the other things you can do is make sure that you're getting organic fruits and vegetables as often as possible and washing them, because nowadays they're putting coatings on peels and we just don't know anymore. So make sure and choose organic whenever possible. And then, of course, wash your fruits and vegetables. It's really important. And, you can look at the dirty dozen so that you know which ones are the good, better, best, as far as which ones that you definitely want to be getting organic, as opposed to the ones that maybe you can let slide and not always purchase the organic version, especially if it's not available in your store. Avoid the lawn and garden pesticides, avoid the playground areas or the schools or the places where you think this might be sprayed. You can often see where it's sprayed because the grass is brown and dead, and right next to it will be the green grass that's growing just fine. So where they spray it, you'll see that the grass is dead, and that is an obvious sign that there has been a recent spray of glyphosate or Roundup or something like that. And so avoiding the exposure is so important. And we're not saying that glyphosate is the only thing that is the causation, but is one of the cofactors among all the other environmental toxins that we are exposed to on a daily basis, just living our lives, right? And so also, being able to just reduce the exposure to dust or soil or places where there has been farming where they're spraying glyphosate, right? Because it is within the dirt. So playing in that dirt or breathing in that can be harmful as well and cause issues. And it can even cause rashes and other external issues on your skin as well as internally. And just really being able to, like Anna Marie said, talk about it with your healthcare provider. And we have so many other things that can help support you here with what Purium offers in our neurodivergent pack and all the things that we've provided as tools to just help you and your loved ones have the best quality of life and really support those detox pathways and support our bodies in being able to intake all of those nutrients that we're putting in, because when your microbiome is affected, it's actually hard for you to absorb the nutrients into your body. So you can be eating all organic, great food, but if your body's not absorbing those nutrients, then you're not feeling the energy and absorbing the nutrients that are in your food. So detoxing your gut and supporting your detox pathways can actually help you to absorb your nutrients that much better that is coming from your food. And so, Anna-Marie, I'll actually go ahead and share the neurodivergent pack if you want to share a little bit more about it. And I'll show the visual so people can see what it looks like.
Yes, I would love that. And so a lot of what we were talking about, what Naiva was saying today, is about how it's not necessarily, we can't always control and avoid everything, but we can control a lot of what we put into our bodies. And if we choose to put things that can help support the balance and the removal of the toxins, then we're still winning. So this pack was really put together to support helping release toxins and repairing the body so that, yes, they're all safe for pregnant women. So all of these are put together to support having a thriving body and releasing as much as we can that is causing any challenges or blockages in our bodies. Our number one, obviously, or I shouldn't say that, but our number one that I keep talking about today is Biomedic. So that is our superpower tool of removing the glyphosate, number one. And number two, getting to repair the gut itself with the pre and probiotics that are in there. So it really changes, it's a game changer for the body and the brain and our spirit, really, to be able to remove that glyphosate and repair our gut. It's like repairing the roots of the tree so that everything else can really thrive and be nourished. Then we also have in here, I can't see it, but I go off my memory. Apothecary is a super crucial one. It helps us, oh, it's down there on the list. That's okay. It helps aid in a much deeper sleep. It can be really common for people who are neurodivergent to have a challenge with getting rest and getting a sufficient amount of rest that they hit that REM, which is where your body is able to really, truly rejuvenate and repair itself. So being able to tap into a natural form of melatonin, it's your body's own melatonin. It's taking the apothecary helps your body create melatonin to tap into before you sleep. So regardless if you aren't getting that melatonin drip from going to sleep with the sunset, which I don't know actually anybody in this world who goes to sleep with the sun except for maybe my dog, but so being able to get that melatonin and get into your good deep rest is super crucial. And then not only does it help us to get into that deep rest, it also has the antioxidants, a super plush amount of antioxidants for the repair and rejuvenation factors. So what we were talking about earlier too, we were talking about a lot of our mitochondria being damaged. So our cells are damaged, can be damaged from glyphosate or other different causes. But what the antioxidants do is help to repair that mitochondria. When we can repair our cells, we're definitely going to see a difference in our livelihood and our life force. So apothecary is my best friend. I go to sleep with apothecary every single night. Not that I sleep with my best friend, that got weird. But anyways, I can't live without apothecary. I always have to have apothecary before bed. and it is super, super crucial for great sleep. We also have green spectrum in the biohack pack, and that is a really great resource for our bodies who are neurodivergent, because it's straight to the basics, straight to the core nutrients that our body really needs, without being interrupting people who have sensitivities to other different things. Although our Power Shake Appleberry is delicious and powerful and so many blessings to it, it has a lot in it, and it can be complicating for certain bodies who have a lot of sensitivities. The green spectrum is just a straight shot to the really good greens. It also within it has spirulina, which is one of the metal detoxers, and it really gets vital, like really deep flooded nutrients into the body in a quick way. Instead of having to drink a lot of something, being able to have just a bit of this green spectrum can take you really far. And also, we now have the lemon flavor of it, and it combined, if you are able to combine with other things, it can be one of the yummiest drinks. So it's a really amazing supplement to have for the body. Zinc Aid is just, it's our all over goodness. It really helps immunity. So it was built for, the immune system, and to supercharge our immune system up. And a lot of people who are neurodivergent, who are on the autism spectrum, really struggle with their immune system, because their body is already taking care of so many other things. The immune system is often weakened. And so to be able to really flood the immune system with zinc aid, the zinc itself and vitamins C, A, D, and E are really, really clutch vitamins. And like we were saying, a lot of our foods that we might be serving our kiddos, even if they are organic, it can be hard for bodies on the spectrum to properly digest certain foods and receive all the nutrients that their body is needing. So being able to have just a direct source of zinc aid is really, really good to be able to get the immune system a really big push. And we also have In Focus, which I am currently falling in love with. It is super common for people who are neurodivergent to have a running mind, and because of their super fast and brilliant mind, and a lot of people misunderstanding them, or misunderstanding themselves, or misunderstanding their environment, can cause a lot of anxiety and a lot of running thoughts. In Focus is a really helpful come back to center, whether you're using it for a child who's in school and just needs help not having quite such a fidgety body, needs to be able to focus on directions and projects going on in school and learnings, or whether it's for a kiddo going to go play a sport, whether it's for just a kiddo I gave it to my daughter last night for pumpkin carving because it was a group activity, and there was 5 other kids and so many different energies and emotions going on. And she is super sensitive to energies, and sometimes they can really overwhelm her. So we brought in our In Focus to really bring her back to her center. Dave put it really well. He said, wow, it just quiets all the other chatter around me. So it's a really magnificent tool to help bring ourselves back into focus. And it just works so magically and really quickly, honestly. We also have in here the Bio Relax, which is a great one for sleep also. I also recommend it not just for sleep, but for somebody who has a, a kind of bouncing off the wall type energy or body. Their body is always having a big energy that needs to be released. The bioregion really brings a relax into the nervous, excuse me, I said bioregion. The biorelax brings a really great sensation of relaxation to the nervous system. It helps our muscles also. I noticed that people on the spectrum, it's like they have so much energy and their muscles are like bursting with energy. So it kind of just brings a real soothing sensation to the muscles as well. And if you add it to sleep, it will also really aid in, you know, that like of anxiety, and the workup of getting into sleep can be a lot for some of us. It really helps our system relax and get into that excellent sleep. And I know we're closing up now, so I'm gonna wrap up here with Pineal Clear, another new addition to the Purium family, but super ultimate gift to the world. Pineal Clear helps also really bring just a sense of tranquility and serenity that somebody who a neurodivergent body who is so activated in mind can finally feel a sense of settling, like it's an exhale, I believe, to find a settling. And also, it's been really reported that it helps with sleep too, and helps with our creation sense as well. It kind of is also very igniting in tapping into some of our different life forces that we don't usually connect with, the way that it declutters other things in our mind. So if anybody has any questions, maybe throw them in the chat. But I believe, if I'm correct, I can't see a clock, I'm getting close to time. But or obviously you can say them out here, but I'm not sure where we're at with time.
We have a few minutes left. Dominique, you had your hand up. Did you want to share anything?
Well, one, this is just incredible information. I'm glad you were able to pull up the biohack pack so people could visually see all the things that we have to support people that are neurodivergent, and just alleviating, like you said, toxic overload, but just to feel that calm and ease in their nervous system. I was just going to highlight, I think Jolanta had a question earlier that said, how do you give 3-year-olds chlorella? Do you grind it, or do you grind it and add it to the shake? So I know, Anne Marie, you have little ones. If you wanted to share, answer that question for her. She's still on health. She is.
Yeah. Depending upon their likes or dislikes, we've been giving Neela chlorella tablets since she was 3 years old. She'll literally just eat chlorella tablets. She thinks it's a treat. I hate to say it, but we give it to our dogs as treats. And so when she was a little girl, like that, I mean, she's still a little girl. When she was that age, though, she was like, I'm going to take these treats too. And she was like totally into it. And of course, we praised it like, yeah, you're eating chlorella tablets. So she took a liking to it from super young. And the tablets are so easy to swallow. Our littlest one, though, who's 18 months about now, she did spit it out. She at first was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna eat these too," but she did end up spitting it out. I think it was just a little bit too powerful at once for her. But I would imagine that if I played with it a little bit more, I could even, those little tablets is so awesome how tiny they are. You could stick them in a banana and eat it, or even a strawberry or whatever their favorite yummy thing is. They're pretty easy to stick in because their size is so small and they don't like melt away super quick or anything like that. So it's not like it would melt in the food while they put it in their mouth and create some nastiness. They could just eat it totally and swallow it and not notice that they're getting that. But we also do have the chlorella powder. Um, uh, and you could mix that into different drinks, and I would say in like smoothies, because smoothies you can add a lot of really yummy fruit or even like dates or something like that to disguise the flavor if somebody is not into it. And oh no, I'm thinking it's right. Like, yeah, so we have those two. I hope that answers your question. Let me know if it does or if you need more. But yeah, it's definitely okay for a 3-year-old, and there's different little things you could do to make them love it. And thank you, Dominique.
That's super helpful. I see that Unique May has her hand up. I'm gonna go ahead and ask you to unmute.
Hello, I'm like mobile now here. But I had a question. So regarding the cracked chlorella, I know I just ordered the powder for my kids. They're a lot older than 3. But my questioning is that, to my understanding, is kind of like a more gentle version of the super cleanser. Would giving Biomedic be, I mean, clearly hand in hand, but I think I was waiting to give them the chlorella to be able to also give them the Biomedic, or I don't need to wait. I guess that's my question.
If it were me, I don't think that I would wait. I think that it, especially if your kids are a little bit older, that you could do the Biomedic and the chlorella at the same time. If you are seeing any aversions, that anything is detoxing too fast, maybe you might want to lighten the load of how much chlorella you're doing. But I think that it would be pretty in the clear. I haven't seen troubles with that in people that we've done it with, children we have done it with at the same time, or my own children. But two, if you have a holistic doctor that you work with, you could check in with them. But I believe that doing them both together should be okay in my experience.
Okay, beautiful. And then hypothetically beginning the cracked chlorella first before Biomedic, that should be okay as well.
Yeah.
Okay. Beautiful. Okay, because I know, yeah, my 8-year-old daughter, she's like so excited. They try to take my shakes all the time. I'm like, in time, like, because I'm on my day 66 of my 90, and I've been implementing things here and there, but like I literally hide and drink my shake in the basement steps. So it's that good. And yeah, so I'm appreciative. Thank you so much.
Well, bravo, Mama, for leading the way and for inspiring them and imprinting that on them, because that's totally you. So I hope you're giving yourself some pats on the back.
Definitely. Thank you so much.
I
Yeah.
also just wanted to mention real quick too that we do have some great recipe books. So if you all are looking for recipe books or some additional guidance, you can find the links to those on the link in bio on Instagram. And the drinks and snack recipe books actually has some sensory drinks and snacks that you can include into your lifestyle. So if you're looking for things like that or ways to incorporate these more into foods and other drink options, or you're running out of ideas to make it fun for your children or the people you're sharing it with, please lean on those recipe books. And as Halloween is around the corner too, for those of you who celebrate, we did do a healthy Halloween guide as well that you're welcome to go use, share it with your community, help educate around food coloring and all the toxins that are in our food, because we know how it affects our children and their mood and their behavior. And so I just want to let you all know that we have lots of tools for you. So we'll go ahead and share more about that in just a minute. But Anna Marie, before we do, is there anything else that you'd like to share?
Just want to say thank you to everybody that came to listen and gave their energy and their time today. And thank you for bringing this call. Anybody that you feel could use it or benefit from it, or any of the knowledge that you gained, passing it along for them. The more people that we can help support to be thriving in their bodies, the better. So thank you for that. And thank you always, Naiva, for leading with me on this call and for leading the Million Mom movement. And thank you to all our ladies here on our Million Mom movement board. I greatly appreciate you for what you're doing for our community. It's really, really means so much to me. And yes, so thank you to everybody for being here and for blessing me with the opportunity to get to share today.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Anne Marie, for being here with us today and sharing your knowledge. It's always so great to have you here and to be able to share more knowledge with our community. And so, as we close out, if you got any value from this presentation, please do share it with others. You'll be able to find the replay on our YouTube channel. So, make sure you do subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can go there manually, or you can scan the QR code here on this page and it will take you there. And that way you can always have access to all of our replays. You can use those replays as tools. I often tell people to go to YouTube, type in Million Mom Movement and any keyword of your choice, and you will likely find a replay that you can use as a tool to share with your community. So if this is your first time here, please reach back out to the person that invited you here. They hand selected you for this presentation because they thought it would be supportive to you and your lifestyle. And we would love to just invite you to become a part of our community. So you can see we have presentations throughout the month here. Our next presentation will be all around family health, nourishing young athletes, performance today, and a lifetime of health. So we'd love to invite you to come back next week. If you have stories to share or young athletes in your family, we would love to hear their stories and highlight you on that call. And of course, the last Thursday this month will be right before Halloween. So we'll be sharing some fun recipes, healthy swaps for the spooky season. And please go and like us on Facebook, join our Million Mom Movement official Facebook group, where these replays are posted and where we invite you to come and go live in there, share your stories, share what's happening for you, share things that matter to our community. And last but not least, please give us a follow on Instagram, tag us in your posts and stories so we can feature you, and make sure and check out that link in bio so you can have access to all of our freebies and links and tools to support you on this lifestyle. So thank you all so much for joining us here today. It's been an amazing presentation. Thank you so much, Anna Marie, for all of your knowledge and everything that you've shared with us. And have a beautiful rest of your day and have a great weekend, everyone.